Oh my god. Oh, she's got it.
G'day guys, and welcome back to another episode of Angry Mac.
What is going on, guys? Welcome to another episode. So today is back in the 200 series and we got ourselves a lift kit and some wheels and tyres. So we're just on the beach now to test it out. Let's see how it goes.
G'day mate.
What a rig.
Oh mate, look, it's just a daily runabout. It takes me to IGA and back, you know what I mean? I bought it pretty much just to pick up the groceries. She does the job pretty well, and if there's any steep inclines, we'll take care of it, you know what I mean?
Yeah, go on. Oh my god. Oh, she's got it. So what do you think of your girlfriend?
Oh my god!
What is happening, guys? Welcome back to another episode. Today's video we're covering the 200 series suspension, wheels and tyres. Now we just spent last weekend on the beach with a couple of mates and we had an absolute ball. I wanted to test it out before I did a bit of a review on it. So basically we're going to run through the whole lot, what brand we chose, why I like the 35s, how we actually fit them up, what you have to do to modify the vehicle to fit. Overall, am I happy with them? How's the ride comfort between factory and King? And any other questions that I see on the forum. Now, let's start with the wheels. So basically everyone in Australia that have done up 200 series either running the Fuels or the Rhinos. I wanted something a little bit different, so I went with the Custom Stealth Pros. So they're the 8-spoke series, or the 8-slot. Beautiful rim, and these are the 18-inch wheels with a POS 25 offset. So not only do they look fat, they're somewhat legal, staying kind of flush with that guard, and I think they just finish off this car perfectly. Now, wrapped we have the Nitto grapplers. So they're the 35 by 12.5 R18 Nitto grapplers. They're the mud terrains. The reason why I went with these is that they were on my previous Ranger. I ran these tyres and I never had a problem with them. Being muds as well, they're not that noisy at all. You get a lot of kilometers out of them and they just look awesome. I love that square look of the tyre, not the round look. So it does finish off the car quite nicely. Now with the suspension, I went with the Kings brand. So after doing a excessive amount of research, everything I do on my car, I do a lot of research prior to actually buying the product. So I went with the Kings because after looking at all the forums, it shows that they're a really good company. They've got good customer service, good warranty, and not many people have had much issues with the suspension itself. So that was a win-win for me. They are a little bit on the pricey side, but I think you do get what you pay for. Now fitting the 35, so SWAT suspension in Joondalup, fitted up the suspension, wheels and tyres. Basically the only thing I didn't do on this vehicle myself. Very hard to get the stock in, and of course I still had to get the wheel alignment done and stuff like that. I also had to get a body chop as well, so I thought it'd just be easier for them to just get it all done in the 2 days. But fitting the 35s, you do have to do a few things, especially if you are running the factory bumper. First up, you do need to get a body chop. At the front of the vehicle, you've got body mounts that hold the chassis to the car itself. They have to actually be cut back and re-welded and mod plated prior to you fitting 35s, otherwise it's just going to scrub like anything. It was done from a company in Wanneroo called On Track Fabrication. So they do the cutout and they also mod plate it as well. So if you ever want to bring your car back over the pits, it's fully legal, fully engineered. Second up, upper control arm. So to make sure that your wheels are sitting adjacent to the road, you have to get upper control arms. Now I went with the PSR brand. I've heard that a lot of people are having issues with Blackhawks. I didn't do a GVM upgrade or anything like that, so I could basically choose what upper control arm I wanted, and I went with the PSR. So apparently they're a really good brand. I was recommended them by my suspension place, so hopefully we get a good run out of them, but that's what I went with. Now the third thing I did was the diff drops. I wanted to get that CV angle as best as I could. Now when you're running the big lift and the big tyres, you're more prone to damaging CVs, but having the diff drop in there does, you know, help it out a little bit. So that's in there also. Now the last thing you got to do fitting 35s to make sure you don't really get much scrub is the panels. So they do have to be trimmed back. On the rear, you do have to remove your front mud guards. They do have to be removed, and part of your trim has to be cut down to allow the 35s to clear the side of the panel. Of course, at the front as well, the plastic underguard that sits in front of the bumper is removed, and a bit of the bumper is trimmed back so you don't have any issues with scrubbing under flex. Now in the rear, we have taken out the factory panhard and put an adjustable rear panhard in there so everything lines up in the back. And it looks quite nice. The Superior Engineering one is all like polished and it looks quite nice underneath the vehicle. Prior to doing this video, I wanted to get it off-road to see what the difference was between factory and doing all the modifications for the suspension, wheels and tyres. It is a massive difference. Just the corrugation for me is a win. With these remote resis, you got more oil, more capacity. You got a lot of adjustment in the shock as well. So you can, you know, adjust it down for softness or adjust it up so it's more rigid. It's an awesome ride. You got much more clearance with the bigger suspension, the bigger tyres, and of course when you do let them down on the sand, you've got a much bigger footprint as well. So I'm very happy with the upgrade. Now one of the downfalls to running the big 35s, I'd say, is taking off. You do have a little lag there, so you do lose power with the bigger tyres. It's pushing a lot more tread. And to compensate for that, I've gone with the Ecu Remap. So we've done all the supporting mods, the DPF back exhaust, the snorkel, and the airbox. So the last thing to do was the Ecu Remat, and that brought the car from 180 rear wheel horsepower up to about 220 rear wheel horsepower, and then I gained another 100 Newton meters of torque, so we're pushing about 720 Newton meters of torque. So the main reason why I wanted to get this done was to delete the EGR from opening up, so it stops the manifold clogging up, and just so it has a nice reliable tune in there, so I can keep forbing with good reliable power. Now also you might see that I have thrown on the nudge bar, so I am going to get a bull bar later down the track, but at the moment, number one, it's very hard with stock at the moment, and you're looking at $4,000 or $5,000 plus for a bull bar. So I went with the genuine nudge bar. I got that all sanded back and powder coated, and I'm running the 22-inch steady light bar, and I think it looks bloody awesome. So at least I've got a little bit of protection there for now until I work out what bull bar I want and when to spend the money. So that's it for this episode, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. That's a little bit of a rundown on the 200 series. Any questions, let me know in the comments below, but you are going to be seeing some cool videos of this four-wheel driving, so make sure you stay tuned for that. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't. I'll see you in the next one.